One thing that we do as gym owners is we onboard clients. Another thing that we do is we onboard new coaches. When I was first getting my business going, it was just me. I had a really hard time onboarding new coaches because I was really worried that people weren't going to live up to the same standard of quality of movement that I did. And I didn't think that people were going to live up to the same effectiveness in teaching the movements that I did. And does the person understand the movements well enough? Can they communicate and articulate the movements well enough? Can they do all that in a way that's still fun for the client as well? That was a big concern of mine. And so anytime I onboarded new coaches, man, it was so stressful because I was like, man, this person's going to mess this up. And all it takes is a few bad experiences in your gym for a person to be like, man, screw this, I'm out. And so you want to make sure that every time people come to your gym, they have a really amazing experience. So onboarding new coaches for me used to be a really stressful thing because if the person didn't do everything perfect, then the client could have a bad experience. Well, with the tiered method of programming that we teach here in Max Out Your Gym, and specifically my company where I do the programming for you, a lot of that struggle of getting those coaches onboarded, it kind of goes away. I always needed my coaches to understand a certain level of like anatomy and physiology and a certain level of like biomechanics in order to be able to coach people well. And now it's so simple that it's like follow these instructions and people will be doing all the right movements on accident. Like they won't even realize that they're hinging properly, but they'll be doing it, right? And so I don't need the coach necessarily to understand every single fault that a person could ever potentially do, but I need them to understand what they're looking for and what cues to give to help make sure that the person is tracking along with the specific goal that we're looking for. And the specific goal that we're looking for is not necessarily a cerebral approach to understanding the biomechanics of the movement, but it's, I told you to push your hips back, were you able to, stuff like that. It's way more simple. You also don't want to let your clients try and work on things that aren't in a place where they're ready to work on them yet, right? For example, like if you're a client who's doing level 1 and you're to the point where you're teaching barbell movements, it just doesn't make sense for them to learn from the ground. They'll never learn from the ground in level 1. They will always go from the hang because they cannot perform it properly from the ground unless they've first learned how to do it from the hang. Don't ask your clients to do things that they're not ready for. As a result, we don't ever have to worry about that situation where you're asking them to understand things that they don't have hooks to understand with. That we keep the workouts within the realm of, their level and their preparedness. And then not only do we keep it there, but we allow them to have things to shoot for and things to grow to. Anyway, I could go into the programming all day, but the biggest thing you need to know is that evergreen is crucial. If you can't onboard people quickly and efficiently at various different skill levels, then you're not going to be able to grow in your business. And I have people telling me this all the time. I had a guy tell me the other day that I've been coaching for however long and I can coach anybody and I can do anything, all this really great stuff, tell me how great of a coach they are and stuff. And I can do it all. I can onboard people super fast and do a really good job of it, but I can only do so many at a time. And I'm like, then what you're doing is relying on your personal skill sets rather than a scalable system. And your programming should be the first step on the front lines of you having a scalable system to you growing your gym. That's what we're looking for. That's the goal.